review, the select board, November 29th, 2022. What's your guys' preference? You wanna just jump into administration and go right from there?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Hey, what's happening with the telephone that we're trying to get one? We gotta take these.
Contract. Yeah, we had a lease purchase on the phone system.
We own it.
So, and that, yeah, we paid that off, this year.
I don't have it edit till page 3. I don't know if anybody else does.
One thing that, I'll just point out, I got the workers' comp, bill for next year, calendar 2023, which is affects the first half of the budget. It actually went down 9.3%, $10,000. So I've reflected that across the board in here.
Already in here?
Yeah, not in the version you have, no. But it's 10,605 to be exact.
Awesome. Chris, what was your comment on page 3?
I want to take, well, it's actually page 9, but I think the third page. They're bringing down the lawyer's fees from 60 to 50. I think, for the first time in a long time, we have no pending lawsuits. We've got nothing that we're, no substantive. So I'd like to get out another 10,000 to 40. We typically run, and I think it's important to understand, these budgets typically run $1 million, we have about $1 million rollover at the end of each year, in part because there are 100 of these lines where we have 10,000 too much, and this is going to be a really tough budget, so I think we should go legal down 10 additional to 40.
Great. I agree with that.
All right. Next page, Bruce, I'd like to take out to start a longevity pay program. I think it's a cool idea. It's just not the right time for it. We have a well-compensated town staff. We're going to have to deal with pay increases. We're dealing with a pretty substantive health increase that we're not putting back onto the rest onto the staff, and so I just don't think it's the right year for a $15,000 longevity pay program.
I agree. Where did you come up with those numbers, Dave?
No, I have yeah, yeah. Is it in the book? I don't think so. I think we just had it. Yeah,
I can make copies if you want.
yeah. Oh, the actual dollar amounts.
Yeah.
I looked at, like, there was probably about 6 towns comparable size. So I took a look pretty much throughout. There was one that was just kind of crazy. And so came up with an average between the towns.
Matt, you got anything on that? No.
Striking it this year?
What?
The longevity pay, are you striking that this year?
Why are you asking me?
Mike already, I recommended it. Mike said yes. We're just looking to see if we have.
Yeah, no, just. I guess, what was the again, Dave?
Total 15,689.
And we were adding this one, it's a new line item.
Yeah.
Right.
Payments are, for employees that have been here for this many years, they just get an extra check. It's a bonus.
And is that, where did that come from?
Again, there was probably, what I say, 5 or 6 towns, at least our size, that were doing it. So I just thought it would be a good idea to introduce it. But, again, you're correct, Chris, we do. Okay, and there's some other personnel expenses in there that.
That's cost for the town, all town employees would total 15.
But yeah, with 5 years and up.
I guess I'm in agreement that we would hold it off.
Maybe next year, David?
Yeah.
next page, I don't know why, but the Energy Committee. Here, I think it's the only committee other than Heritage that has the budget.
Well, I know the building is gonna be requesting money at next meeting.
I have that for you.
Not the building committee, but the,
I have that for you. Did Colleen talk to you?
well, it was in our meeting. I'm talking about
All
our
right,
meeting.
she put that together now.
And I think
Well,
what the Energy Committee is doing is great. I think, like all of the town services, we need to, our, community commitment, I know it's only $1,500, I think it sets stage precedent. And at most, I'd like to see it reduced down to $500, but zero would be. I think $500 is right. It's, you know. Gives them a little bit of flexibility. $1,500 is more than we have in our selectmen's budget. Miscellaneous dollars.
But that's not allocated for anything like,
This 1,500,
just it's miscellaneous.
program expenses, a thermal camera, energy use monitor, poster board, pamphlets, tablecloth, pop-up tent, display materials, raffle prizes, T-shirts, energy committee T-shirts,
Yeah,
gifts, volunteers, food.
I'd rather,
Yeah, the recycling committee is one other one. They get what, $1,500. But just so you know, I mean, but you're right, the heritage and recycling are the only two that have any kind of budget.
Zero that out,
Yeah.
because what they do every year is take that money and roll it over. They ask for $2,500, they roll it all over into their own truck, slush fund. With
Yeah.
$1.8 million above our spendings from last year.
right, so we need to.
And I know that I can't cover $20 million in the budget. I can, well, I'm not sure we can cut that in half. So we're gonna have some hard decisions.
So Dave, I'm not in favor of raffle prizes.
Yeah, where is it?
Thermal cameras, why wouldn't that be?
Because we have one of those.
So why wouldn't it be with Chris?
Right.
Why would it be a committee? And I don't,
And the fire department is 15.
Yes.
yeah, so I don't see the need for any
So
of those expenses.
You guys wanna go to 500 or to zero?
I was zero.
I from zero.
I mean, not what they're doing, it's just,
Minus 1,500. All right. So my next step is, I don't have anything else. Illustration.
I didn't have anything in there other than what we just went over. You get anything else in there, Mike? Matt?
no, I'm just looking for the big increases and the big decreases.
So in a separate. So in the last couple of years, we've been holding a partial update, a value if needed, 20,000. You know, for the year where we finally do it. Given the next year, it's gonna be hard, take that out of next year. And if Monica thinks we do it in this budget year. And, we have 20,000 in our current budget. So if she thinks we need to do it now, and let's not save for it next year. So I'd like to take 20,000 out of the assessing line, 0390.
It's just on that one, there is a report that she has in the consent on what our ratio is. That,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, it's just,
it's time to do it.
yeah.
Between now and maybe in July. Where the budget was at. So this would be taking
Page 12.
390, page 12, the partial update for new value. And so it would be taking that 20,000 line out. Because if she wants to do it this year.
And we have it, right, this year.
We have it.
Right.
Mhm. Yep.
All right,
Minus 20 there.
yeah. I don't have anything else on that page.
go back to page 10 for a minute? Yeah. Personnel, employment, advertising. What do you got? What do we have left?
We have a full-time police, full-time fire.
Planning, what do we have left in?
We may have one planning. We're still trying to figure it out, but probably one in planning.
Okay.
And typically we put it on, the free sites, but this past time with the director, I started trying to put it in some other places that you had to pay a little bit for.
Yeah.
you think we can reduce that a little bit? I mean, I know the director took a lot of money,
Yeah,
a lot of money, it's just advertising. So,
yeah, I mean, I would think, is it back under personnel?
Page 10,
Page 10.
My numbers are all.
under assessment, under admin.
No. And six, seven, oh. Yeah, we could, I'd just cut that back in half to 750,
750.
yeah, or even, yeah.
You're talking about the appointment things that which we.
Yeah.
Yeah, the advertising,
Yeah, yeah. I know the director took
yeah,
a fund because.
So Jeff, on page 13, are all these grades, the current grades for the people in the higher? And if not, are we starting the grades at 1? You're higher than I anticipated, given that we hired all the people, right?
These are the grades they will be at as of July 1st. Some will get it, no, yeah, these are their current grades. The steps are as of July 1st. So they could be at one lower step now.
We hired a building inspector at step 7 and an admin assistant at step 7. Aren't these new jobs?
the inspector was at 7, he was part-time, but he was still at that grade and step 7, correct?
Assistants?
The step 1 is
The step 1 is the one that's vacant.
the one that's vacant.
And then the other one is,
Yeah, and the other one started at 5, 6. She at 6 now, I can't remember.
She was hired. No, because was she hired? No, because she was hired in this budget year, so she won't get a step until next budget year. So she's at 7 now, I believe. But I can check on that.
can you just verify that?
Mhm.
And I think,
But where's that new hire at? Is she the director of step 3 or step 4?
The director's step 3 now.
Okay.
And we're gonna hire another admin.
That's what it's looking like, yeah. Some form of that. And where we saved a bit is, again, dropping the assistant planner position, and then also one of those. There was another position, it was the office manager position, so that's what we would change to administrative assistant, and then we eliminate the assistant planner position.
And the 6.4% increase, that's just the increase in pay,
The steps.
just bumping up the steps under the same pay scale.
so when did the building inspector become a full-time position?
Actually, when we were still vacant there. Late summer, because we're also gonna roll over,
But where do we get the money for the health?
Before Brian. Pardon?
Like, so you convert a part-time position to a full-time. And then we obviously didn't budget for that, right? We didn't have a budget for a full-time.
well, we did because we eliminated the assistant planner position.
I don't have anything till page 15.
Anybody else, anything before page 15?
And you're gonna do the working comp, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Care of that.
PM of 15,
625, bring postage down to the 5-year average of 1,900. And bring the advertising down to 2,500 from 3,200. slightly less than the 5-year average, but more than last year.
Postage, you're gonna drop down to
1900.
1900.
1900.
And the
And
rate,
advertising down to,
19, postage 19 and advertising is 25.
postage didn't change, it is expected to change the rate, Jeff. I mean, I don't, you know about any changes coming, but
their big postage cost is they have to send certified.
Yeah.
So, while a postage stamp might go up a penny or two, it can jack the certifieds up, 30, 40, 50 cents.
Right.
But we don't know until they decide to do it.
and those are for what? For
Notices for,
Butters, we are required, well, we get revenue, offsetting revenue back in the planning board application.
Right.
Yes,
but it's still a $450,000 budget. If they need 1,000 or two, it's there somewhere.
Yeah.
Anything else on assessing community road? Elections?
I don't have anything,
I didn't see anything.
only $12,000 budget. And with emergency management, pretty much.
what do we have coming up in that year for election?
there's three.
Well, the town ones this year, and then there'll be another.
So we have,
2 elections in that year.
Right, there's only two. There's not anything.
It's an off year. We just had our.
Midterms. The next year we have town in March, well, not this.
so it starts in July of 23. So you have the presidential primary, the town. Maybe it is only two.
I just want-
Oh, it says 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't have anything in emergency management other than to note that, Lee is probably by hourly rate, the most underpaid guy in the town.
Plus he covers the budget with grants.
That was good. He mentioned that first one. I got a generator grant and I'm covered.
It says it transferred from DPW, but that happened years ago, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So, and then we have both of these, are these 4? Or no, it's 2 part-time jobs. These are both currently filled.
Yes. All three.
What was the big increase in contract services? 23.
So they, right through this budget, we need to do something on that. There are water treatment charges, $6,000 a building, $3,000 a building.
What is that? What is, where in there? What is that?
They told us, Bruce, at our Saturday, Whitewater used to handle this as part of their deal. They're not handling it anymore. But nobody I know is paying $7,000 a year, $150 a week to test their water.
Right, where's that number come from, Dan?
Because we're using second wind now, and I guess that's I don't, to be honest with you, totally no, but I don't know if that's their total estimate for the year.
So state requirement or test?
Yeah. No, but it has to be tested.
But that's a.
That's a lot of testing.
Test our water for free.
Yeah.
You can go to the-
Expensive.
Yeah, they have to do testing and notices if there's something out of whack, but
Get a quote from them, a written quote outlining the bare minimum that they were required to do.
Yeah,
and what
we
that
just
cost.
didn't meet the state requirements.
Well, we just have murder those things to the state. Costs us a couple hours of time, right?
On page-
Dave, on page 22, what's the $5,000 vehicle maintenance?
Yeah, that was
No notes, it's just $5,000.
a couple of years ago, we gave them access to a used van of some sort.
Used truck, we picked up a used F-350.
Right.
And so this is the maintenance on that vehicle.
That's what the 5,000 is for that truck.
You
even,
know what the.
even that.
That's a lot.
It's an old truck. I don't know specifically what
You
they,
spend your on your truck to maintain it. I don't. spend
Well-
5 a month.
I did before I got the new one.
Yeah.
That's why I got rid of it.
And that's the vehicle we get for the.
The white one, yeah.
With the spot it to plow the, up at the rec center.
Yeah, we got it from the state
Yeah.
surplus with the cargo bins and the,
We don't have any, no outline for what that is. I think we cut that in half and build some experience up with it.
I'm all for that.
We have a DPW, if, you know. And I think the next line, we're using an average of $1,000 a year. We don't need 2,500, so let's cut that from 2,500 to 1,000. 740.
On the general equipment.
And then, David, I noticed in line 341, which is halfway up that page, we're paying for 2 cell phone stipends. Now, there are 3 people in this group, so 2 of them are part-time and then 1 full-time. Who's getting the stipend and who isn't?
I know at least Mert and Chris, correct?
No, Chris and Gary are getting the stipend. Mert has a town cell phone.
Okay.
The 2 part-timers are each getting a stipend.
Correct.
Better water treatment number.
Page 23, the contract services up 117%.
That was.
That's the one.
That's the one, that's gonna, you're gonna get.
Same thing, yeah. Yep.
This is gonna come down 1,000. You gotta figure that out.
So that's not really water treatment, that's just testing the water, water monitoring, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
But maybe it should say water testing, not treatment. Anyways,
Where did you get the increase in all your projected electrical bills on all the buildings?
That's what Chris came up with.
Where did you pull that out?
do we use that for all over the, oh, yeah.
Yeah, 50% on electrical across.
Yeah.
That's a big number, including our building that we have solar. We're gonna get our first bill next month based on the new rates.
Right,
So let's make a note, update that based on what we see year over year. I think, you know, the energy rate is going up a lot.
Hmm.
But for these buildings that have large usage, a big part of the bill is a tariff,
right.
is access.
Mhm.
Those rates aren't going
Right.
up. So I think electrical rates we can hopefully.
And same on the gas, and Chris, for those numbers?
Mhm.
Can you give us just some background on that?
Yeah, I know on the electrical, he couldn't get electricity, he couldn't get anything out of Utentil that any firm numbers at all, so it was his best guess. I think it's the same with natural gas, but I will confirm that. I just read in the paper an estimate of 30%
30% on which.
natural gas.
On page 24, that bump in water treatment, that's the same thing, right? Water temperature.
We'll see that in all the buildings.
so I always put the calculation. You said estimating was at 50%, but we're top 30.
Gas and electric is 2.
Oh,
Right.
50 on
my apologies.
electric.
Yeah, gas was 30.
Why is the carpet and HVAC when being gone up so much?
Which page?
Page 24. So the carpet cleaning, you're going up more than 3 times. Yeah. We had a lot of.
What have we been
carpet.
spending?
I don't think they,
I don't know.
I don't think they were cleaning much of the carpet over there at all. I know It's close to that for this building, I believe. When they come in and clean the carpets,
Same with the HVAC cleaning stuff.
that I don't know. But I.
I don't think we've been doing that either.
I mean,
We can just see if he has quotes.
No, but I'm just wanna know, is this like a real estimate or is this sort of a number at the?
Yeah, that's what I'll,
Board and see what.
yeah, that's what I'll find out. Or the,
No, I mean, Chris is, he's usually pretty good. I mean, he might err on the high side, but he not usually out of the ballpark.
The increase on page 25 up at the radio tower. Electricity maintenance pest control, is that increase mostly electricity?
And I believe that includes, I'll have to check,
Because we're adding pest control to the radio tower.
because there's a building up there that has rodent issues, I believe. That has the,
well, we won't once one of them gnaws on the wire.
right, well, that's.
We don't want
trying
to see that.
prevent,
Yeah. No, I mean, it goes.
We also lease the space up there. And there's a contractual increase there. I don't know
I
if
think
that's,
that's in a different spot.
I think so too. Because I think the lease is more than this or close to it.
Unanticipated repairs. 2,000. It's actually based on, we had spent 2,500 in the past.
we'd like to
Yes.
plan for repairs, not unanticipated.
Yeah.
Well, in that building, they are unanticipated because you wouldn't expect any at that age.
This is in the safety.
So,
Mhm.
yeah,
I'd be happy to take that out. We had multiple years with zero. The $100,000 budget, they can find $2,000 if they need it.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
No. The janitorial supplies, landscaping. We're doubling it.
Directly, that's around $2,000.
Is that just, because we're doing more cleaning up there since COVID, or are we, there's no landscaping in that price, right?
Yes, there's, I think there was some like fertilizer and, stuff for the lawn that's by the building. Is there? I know the firefighters
Cut it.
kind of,
We have a five.
Adopted it.
2,100 guys, let's just move that down to 2,000.
That's good. Right. What's the holding tank, increase, Dave? Under line 390,
on the previous page.
no, page 25,
Holding tanks.
we got the holding tanks.
Is that for the separator?
750 to 1180. Maybe before they all. I don't know, it's from the. Something I can pay.
Yeah.
Freeze.
Yeah, let me find out. It looks like a pretty specific number.
Yeah, so you got an estimate for something.
Yeah,
Or based on the last time it was done.
Oh, yeah, maybe, right?
Yeah,
Is that what you think it is, Jeff?
I can check, but that's my guess. I don't think he would increase it unless he had a reason to. I mean, he was pretty concerned that he was coming in so high.
On the propane fuel, on page 26. We kept reducing the number down. We're reducing it down again, but we're anticipating 25% increase. Have we just been overestimating that every year?
Yes, that's kind of hard because that's a pretty big tank. So it's not like you fill it every month. So you could have 1 year where you get the extra fill, so it pops the price up.
Now, with our propane, are we, getting a bulk deal because one company is doing all our buildings?
I believe so, but I will double check on that. I believe it's only here and the Old Town Hall that have propane.
And that's gonna be
Yeah.
reduced, 'cause that's just the stove now.
Oh, you got the heaters.
Oh, and the smaller heaters, right?
Which provider is that, Joe?
I believe it's Eastern.
So we've got building maintenance and building projects going from 19 to 23 over there. And then we want to finish up that siding project. But I'd like to see those two numbers stay closer to 19.
Where are you?
I thought I was just under the line you were at, 26, top of the page, building maintenance and.
430 and 435.
Were you not at propane on page 26?
Yeah, but I was at propane, but that number was 23.
No, I'm talking the two lines below it, the building maintenance and then building projects. Well, last year they were 7 and 12.
Right.
And we're continuing the siding project so that, bring that over to 12 or a makeup, use some money for both of those just to keep it even. Maybe go 5 and 14.
Well, yeah, I thought you said 19. I couldn't figure out whether 19.
Oh, I was adding the 7 and the 12 together and saying last year we're at 19, I'd like to stay at 19.
So 5 and 14.
My next cut is until page 27, line 430. Building maintenance. Down to 3,500, consistent with what we spent last year.
Yeah, can you just change the wording on fire alarm? To fire alarm monitor? Started a whole nother line there
Where is that?
on
Sorry.
390.
Oh, back
Oh, on the, this.
or down below.
Oh, yeah.
Change,
430 building maintenance. Last year we spent 500. I'd like to keep it at 3,500.
Yeah. Okay.
And then building supplies, you have a 5-year historical average of 1,000. I'd like to go back to 1,000 for that on line 630.
So on 430, hang on, slow down, Chris. I'm a super guy. What was the big thing in 1920 we did? Is
Siding.
that the siding, initial start of the siding?
No, this is
What?
the community building.
Oh,
Dave, what's the outdoor water for the garden?
A bunch of projects there.
The
Asbestos.
Yeah, the building maintenance was to get it up to where it is now, so we could at least use some of it. Yeah,
What's the 1250 for outdoor water for garden club?
They want to put flowers out there, make it look a little better. Flowers are.
oh yeah, you missed, yeah, they wanna have a line run out there. And
the pond.
so they can water there.
And a strip that's weedy.
Figured if they wanted to try to make that place, that lipstick on the pig.
So they want to run a line in the ground, not,
No, inside somewhere.
A spigot.
but then just have a hose.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the flowers, they want us to pay 500. Be nice.
Honestly, I think we can probably take the 750 out and just find 750 this year and pay a plumber to do it. We don't need to wait until July. Honestly, we can,
I'm sorry, Chris, what did you want to reduce that to?
well, if
Or,
if you need a water line, let's get them a water line before this budget year is over because
Yeah, just doing
they
that.
have it for the spring. We can take out the 750 and we'll just pay for that one alone. I'll leave the fire.
Current budget.
Um,
So you want to reduce that to 500?
Yep,
What line was that?
I'm sorry, my eyes are getting
Fourth.
tired. 435.
4:30.
Yeah, speaking of tire-
27.
speaking of tire irons, what exactly is our plan on it? An hour, 2 hours? What are we doing?
I bet in half an hour I can get you through police.
I'm fine with going an hour. We do have a small 5-minute non-public.
We're reducing 435 to.
$500 because we'll do the water line now.
Yeah, we'll just pay
So
for
they
that.
have the water in the spring.
Next page, 28, $16,000 fire alarm system. Absolutely outrageous unnecessarily. Put in a ring thermostat or something.
Where you at? What is that?
They want to put in a wireless fire alarm system for the old town hall so that it will.
It'll tie in.
If it,
Yeah, it'll tie into, it'll be monitored.
it's got to be a solution. That we've got internet there.
$15,000?
I'd like to take that out.
I'm sure you got probably got a quote for that too, I'm sure, but
This building it's been like 1,000 cuts. Oh, let's do the heat, let's do the floor, let's do this. let's do- and
Wallpaper.
we should have had a plan all together, and I think people would have viewed this project different. That seems like a whole lot of money to make for a one.
It's only 1,066% increase. That's it.
But I think they have a much more economical fire alarms than 16,000.
I would, that's a dial out system instead of a direct connect or something.
Let them figure it out within a $1,500 maintenance budget.
So take that out. 16 is gone.
You know, we get pest control problems everywhere now, huh?
about all old buildings.
It's been better, Bruce.
They
4
speak in.
years ago,
Yeah.
we had some really high fast number. It may make sense to go back out to bid. It's been a couple of years. And, you know, there's a lot of money in this budget for pest control.
Yeah, because
Plus, we have 2 pest control businesses that are residents.
yeah, that's who we're using.
We're using one of them.
We're using one of them now. We were using the one that advertises a lot on television and that's, yeah, it was just like a
I
standard,
think we're using JP.
but
Mhm.
yeah.
The numbers just every year.
What's the name of the one we have now?
Yes,
Exactly.
They're right up, right on the high school.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Just kind of give them a couple of year contract. Just try to save 20%. We gotta do something. All right, I don't have anything until page 30.
That's control.
Page 30, line 443, equipment rental. It's going up 2,400. Historically, we've only used 2,400. I'd like to, I assume it's at least in part, portable bathrooms that are going up. But I think we can probably bring that down to 4,000 instead of 5,400. Based on we've never even spent more than 3,600. Maybe even 3,600, that number should be.
Yeah, and Darcy had asked for the holiday lighting that be put in there because it's actually a contract that we have with a company that does that each year. So that's why it's also another 1,000 that wasn't in there.
Which lighting is that?
For Rotary Park and the gazebo and
Pay somebody $1,000 to do that.
What is it, light up the season? Is that who it is?
yeah, I don't know the company. It's one of those that,
We've still never spent more than 3,600. So.
yeah, no, I'm just so you, I just want to let you know it's a new one.
What's the, above that line 430, what's the $7,000 electrical? That's what we're spending on average.
No, that's to put electricity in the,
Yeah.
Oh, that could.
Yeah.
That.
That's 7,000. So,
We missed that
We
too.
built that building intentionally without electric.
Right. So, yeah, that was something we picked up on the budget meeting. We both picked up on.
So that's 36, thanks for catching that, Bruce. Now, field material, I don't know why we're spending $7,400 on mulch. Seems like a lot. It's like 20
That's,
truckloads of mulch.
no, that's for the playground here. It's that special,
Fubo, something,
The
Bar.
That's approved by.
Yeah.
And we have to do it.
not anymore.
No.
Because we're not, we had to, because it was,
Take it out.
well, does Primex usually, they don't require it, but do they recommend that?
Semi-licensed.
When we were licensed with the state, right, that was a requirement.
Well, we're not anymore here.
So who thinks we could wait a year for that?
I think we just cut it out.
All right. Capital reserve, anything building. Now this is capital reserves. When did this get planned, David?
Oh, I'm just back on the materials. You want to reduce that to 1,000 or just take out the 8,400?
Without,
Oh,
Okay. Because the fiber was 7,400.
right.
What was that? I'm sorry.
the next page is capital. Are we gonna do capital reserve things as we go through, or
I thought we would, why not?
so 170,000 for municipal building phase 2?
Is that Chris's updated numbers for phase 2 and the server room improvements? Because I know he was asked,
Yeah, that's that whole,
Ted's questions with.
yeah, that's that whole downstairs area, not just the server room. It's gonna create all new storage space so we can start to move some records in there, but the ones we have to keep. But yeah, that was,
See, gonna double check the numbers for his estimates.
I remember.
Those are the latest numbers that I've gotten from him.
There's money to finish the space down here. I thought we had money. for
no,
that.
down.
No, it is. A lot of that is the,
Town clerk.
no, well,
Balance.
I don't know if we're gonna move her or not, or just
Right.
shuffle her around. But the big chunk of that is the mini splits for the community development office, because there wasn't enough money for them in phase 1.
But-
And
Keep having projects that we go through. Tell our community what we're gonna do. Then spend the money and come back and say, oops, you spent all your money, but we wanna finish the projects now.
Well, did some of that change because you have the youth center? Some of this project plans change?
No,
We're last year to do that thing.
Well, they have that changing because when they like tore up the walls and the flooring is down. There are changes in plan here because we had the flooring up. But the server room, that has been a moving target because it has a pretty significant. And that was. The computer in there, isn't that partly expanding? Our record keeping, hard copy paper.
that's, yeah.
Any controlled room, that's that.
right, because that's the permanent, Medulla's permanent record storage.
Right, which you have.
So it has to be fire resistant and
Humidity.
yeah, right. And since the server's already down in that space.
Yeah.
It kind of made sense to improve the air quality.
And the
for that also.
126 is to get planning done and up here.
No, that's what the
No.
105 is for. Right? The 105 from last year.
Part of that,
Go ahead.
I think
I'm trying to,
only. I think about 40 or 45,000 was the initial cost or estimated cost for moving community development up here. Somewhere when those numbers were put together, the mini split was omitted.
But there is a mini split in there.
not in the old Celebrating Children's side.
Right.
And then they were gonna upgrade the mini splits, I believe, in that conference room and in Medula's to also
Do heat.
do heat.
So we're gonna switch to electric heat. While we're increasing our rates to 50%. I don't think we should. Nobody has made a compelling case that we need to be spending $170,000 in this building this year.
Well, the mini split too was, can you get Chris to come in?
Yeah.
To talk about that, so the mini split issue, if I remember right, is that with our heat system we have without the mini splits, we can't balance the heat system in the building at all. And the cost to take our existing system and make it with no thermostat, so you can balance out the heat, was cost prohibitive compared to the mini split approach, because the mini split repair.
But we
AC, the only time
we heated the whole building with a daycare center.
Yep.
In it with all these people in it, in the basement. Now we're putting mini splits everywhere. And we can't heat the building now?
Well,
No, we can.
This was to finish off what Chris had for play, but I would come in, he explained it better than I did, but.
It heats very unevenly, Chris. One.
I
So this,
I'm in
what it was.
an office building that has a gazillion. Units in the ceiling and it's still on. It's just.
Yeah,
All right,
So let him come in and
yeah,
explain
I'd
it.
like to hear more.
I don't think I had anything in the finance budget.
I think,
Okay.
I think the only
Yeah,
question
feel like-
I had in,
and the money somewhere.
the only question I had was the property and casualty insurance. Up 10,000, is that based on? Is that based on a quote? Because.
Yep.
It's 10,000 more than last year. We didn't spend the 100,000 from the year before. And so, did you really go up 110 more? I'm on page 36, line 520. Are we sure that 110 is the number?
Yes, should the page after, or a couple pages after, you should see the quote from Primex for that. 110,471. And I think part of that may be where that the rec center has been added to the,
All right.
we'll see.
Well, then again, didn't we absorb a lot of those employees through? How many additional employees do we add realistically? Because Darcy, Melinda.
20,
Okay.
Most of the
Thank you.
part.
you're welcome.
All right. Fire, fireman number 8, was on yesterday. I'd like to have us move that pay grade 13 to a step 2 or 3. That is a new position that will be hired, and so we don't need to be holding that as an 8-9. Is that good with people?
Only makes sense.
I also understand that there's potential that we'll hear before budget's over about a retirement that might be pending. And I've asked the chief to let us know if that happens so that we can factor that in. Now, he asked us at the Saturday meeting to continue to fund or to fund again an inspector at 24,000. He's been using the help offset so that they can actually do outside inspection. I think I have a way that we can do that. We can give him that flexibility to have a part-time inspector. What we're not using is our call wages. We've not used vacation coverage or other call personnel salaries at all over the last 5 years. To the tune of about $45,000. I know the chief's goal is to get additional coverage using those calls guys and ramp that back up. We're not there. And so for next year, I'd like to cut that by 25,000.
But I also didn't hear that he could, it wasn't feasible. He wasn't able to find the
Right, the people.
people to do it, so.
But he's not giving up on supporting the team that way and covering offsetting overtime there. So I'd like to see us take
Yeah, agree. Where we go with this.
25,000 between vacation coverage and other call personnel salaries. Actually, in fact, I don't think we need two lines there. I think that can be one line, other call salaries. And have that reduced by 25,000.
And there's your part-time inspector.
And I think the part-time inspector, he hasn't been here 2 days a week. I think that's a lot. When you're keeping the gentleman we trained to be an inspector there. I'm sure the chief would like to see it 2 days a week. I think we should cut that to a day and a half a week. And reduce that to 600 or 650 hours. We are paying that person $30 an hour because it's a retired, firefighter. It's a tough budget, and I think, putting 20,000 there probably gets us close.
I'm good with that.
So we're gonna drop the 60 to 435 or
Jeff, do you think there's a reason to have vacation coverage and other call personnel salaries separated is necessary when it's really just call shifts?
Is he just trying to track it or? Only for tracking?
No, I mean, if you look at the rate under vacation coverage, that's the average of all the guys. And the other call personnel, that's just a flat number.
Yeah, I don't.
But we could just convert it to
Just
an estimated number.
25,000 between those two lines, and then an additional 5,000 out of the officer.
And so you want to reduce the part-time inspector to 600 hours?
Yeah,
but that you're also saying to compensate for to be able to put in the part-time inspector.
yeah. So he's going to keep the inspector at a day and a half instead of 2 days a week.
Right.
Because this guy is not going out on calls and is supposed to be, reviewing plans, going out and looking at the businesses. He can do that 12 hours a week.
Yeah.
So that drops that line to about 86,521.
25, 30,000, yep, 80, something like that.
520.
I neglected when we first hit staff salaries to talk about the 5% payroll increase. But let me tell you, I understand inflation is here and it's real. And this year it's bad. We treat our employees well. We have a step program for everybody. We're absorbing 100% of the 12% increase of the health insurance. And I think this is a tough budget, and if we were to carry 2.5%, I think that's a commitment to them that we're trying. But it's also a statement to our residents that we made a really hard choice, and that the town employees are in it with us. That'll cover us about 120,000 through the whole budget. Last year we treated them very well, and we have almost nobody who's less than 6 people who are step 9 limited. And so I'd like at least for now to carry 2.5% through the budget.
Well, I'd be more agreeable to maybe 3.5%. Just what I perceive as a problem is we've lost some people from highway. We've come close to losing people in other departments because of pay. We had a heck of a time trying to hire staff up at the rec center and had to increase rates. But it seems like, as a taxpayer, not as a selectman, every year, especially the last few years, we've been trying to maintain the tax burden down on the backs of our most valued employees. While we keep it down and then the school budget goes through the freaking roof. I mean, we've kept, what did we do for the last year? Was it 3.5? Was it?
That we did
4.
4.
And I take exception to that, Bruce, because I don't think we've done this on their backs. I think we've given them cost of living increases every year. Both times they brought us a pay scale revision saying that we had people that were underpaid and capped out. We changed it.
I'm not basing it on that, because I'm basing it on my recollection of what David gave us from comparative costs for other police departments, highway department. It's just what the rates are out there now that other towns are paying for their highway department. Especially, because, I mean, I don't wanna be next spring or next summer. And say, hey, we can't hire anybody for the highway department because we're not paying what everyone else is paying. Do you have updated numbers for this year, Dave?
No, but Chris is correct. We did adjust. Well, they've done them, but I have to make sure what the snapshot in time is on because NHMA started doing it again. So I don't, but I'll take a look through and,
I just would like.
yeah, just to see.
I don't want.
Yep.
Over the last year and a half, it seems like, talking to the, department head.
I'd split the difference.
I can agree with three.
I don't know, right?
There we go. Well, I still like this.
But I'll still do that, yeah.
No, we definitely want to keep up on it.
I know I did a spot check on some and we're still good. I mean, it was adjusted. Everyone else has made their adjustments and we're still right in there with the ones at least that I looked, but I'll take a look at all of them.
That ratio. I think it's teachers are gonna get. Or negotiating.
Yeah.
Well, if we go three, I think we should. Be okay.
That'd be okay.
Yeah.
And is this right, line 230, page 38, the fire department retirement number, with 5% decrease, the number still goes up by 3 points.
Which line are you? Chris?
It's 230.
Okay.
That's a big number.
How does it go up with a decrease?
Because
Because-
it's getting a staff salary increase, a step increase, it'll go down a little bit. with Pickowitz salary getting corrected
And it's really, well, you see, you got a $47,000 increase, almost $48,000 increase in full-time wages, but you also have that $26,000 increase in part-time initially. And so that's what drove
Yeah, but the
that
part-time-
number.
Just remember, the part-time inspector is already.
That's right. He doesn't get retirement.
So maybe there is a.
I'll double check.
So I don't have anything else. That's not true. Line 431. I appreciate the team breaking out a few of the expenses for the equipment maintenance. A couple things that we used to do internal that we're doing external now. It's helpful, but given that we've never used more than 14,200 there. I think that we can ask them to tighten the belt a little bit. I'd like to see us go to 14,200 and kind of bring all those down, or 14,500, bring all those down 800 or so.
Yeah, I'm good with the 14.5.
Okay. And
On the back page, on the capital, that's gone up again, but this time pretty substantial. Did we change something?
It's based on, well, ironically, on
half on-
population and
and half on,
property value.
Yeah.
we're gonna go to 14.5 on line 6.
I'm on
431, 431.
431, and you're gonna divide that between the $4,000 ones. Obviously, taking all that stuff.
that fuel cost on page 40, is that reflective of what we're seeing for increases right now? Or is that projected?
That's all over the board. I mean, the gallon usage is based on historical. The price is. Yeah. I mean, I think it's in the ballpark for
Yep.
now, but who knows in July?
And same with the diesel,
Correct.
we're safe on that number.
Like I said, same thing, gallons. the price may be a little on the low side. But it seems that we are getting a better wholesale cost on the diesel than we are on the unleaded.
But it's, who knows where we're gonna be
Yeah.
over 18 months from now.
Mm.
Right.
Going to page 41. I know this is capital projects. My recommendation is that we put off the forestry truck until things settle down. You know, we had 105 that we brought to the town. They gave permission. It was over budget. Truck prices are coming down. I've started to see lots starting to go back up. And I don't think we know enough and we can put it off. So that's my recommendation.
They still have the one in service, right?
We do.
Yes.
Well, that's the only, when they made the switch on our last tanker, now to get up certain driveways in town, that is the only truck that makes it up certain driveways in town. And that's the one that they had the issues with the pump system that they rebuilt. But.
I know.
And I'm
The
fine.
pump system we rebuilt was on the big truck.
He also did
We got carburetor issues on the.
the engine for the pump. The forestry. But just spitballing, looking ahead, because in the CIP, Chris was looking for originally, I don't know, 70-something thousand for a replacement pickup, and then they got reduced down by CIP. But that forestry truck only has like 20-something thousand miles on it. The real issue is the utility on the back, and it is a four-wheel drive truck that you can put a plow on, that we can take the, I think it's down to 50,000 out for the replacement truck and make that the replacement truck for the for Chris. If we wait a year, when we get the new forestry truck. Because it's in great shape, that the truck
Mhm.
itself, it's the tank and pump unit on the back.
But I just don't see how we can $10,000 to 180 in a time where I can say, just take it out.
I agree with you. I'm just saying, when you do it though, you should
Oh, yeah.
put that truck over and buy the new truck for plowing the community. No, is Quickly stuck under the DPW or is it stuck? Think of it now, the one, the gym that came from the office.
No, it's under facilities.
Yeah. No, this wouldn't be a. Good pump truck, this is a pickup truck.
The next is the CPR mannequins. This is ordering 15 new dummies to have CPR on, 6 infants. That seems like a crap ton of money to me, like a lot of money to do a few CPR classes. I know they last forever. If it were my money, I wouldn't spend $40,000 on bags of dummies.
The mannequins.
This is CPR machines, you're saying,
They're dummies. The
no.
2,400.
Talking about the automated ones that pump compression.
Yeah.
Which line are you reviewing?
Well, that's not a dummy. No, I'm talking about, there's a device that you can strap on somebody.
CPR machine, the fire equipment line 740 CPR machines it's 15 dummies.
The mannequin above, the CPR mannequin upgrade replacement is $2,400.
See, I don't think you're talking about the same thing. When we did a class down there was a machine that you could strap to someone's chest. that would do
It
that.
does the compressions on the person.
Right, see, I think this is a different thing if I'm.
No, it's just a mannequin replacement, all the mannequins,
That's up above, right?
Above you have
2,400.
mannequin upgrade
Right.
replacement, 2,400. Down at line 740, you have CPR machines.
That's what they call
I don't know either.
Well, my note here says 15 mannequins.
How's that?
Pretty sure that that's what it is. If it's not, we should probably know what we're doing.
Well, I'm
So
sorry, man.
what I thought it was for these things that are the chest compression.
Right.
Machines that put on someone and it does the compression. And like, I'm just looking here, one of those is 18 grand.
In the CIP, it says, will replace 2 current units. The department has, these units are used to assist the EMTs and performing CPR.
Yeah.
They're on the ambulances.
If that's what these.
They're not the dumb.
Yes,
Those are the mid.
But these are the mannequins.
So how many is 42-4 buying?
two.
Two. I just looked it up.
When did we last buy it?
They're 10 years old, I believe. If not, a little bit older.
And the hospital gave us.
I don't think I have anything on health officer page.
I didn't have anything.
Heritage Commission. I would cut, line 620 to 200, line 680 to 200, and line 690 to 300 for a grand total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, cutting $1,000 from their budget because they don't use it.
Right, 950 is they just transfer it back into their.
On page 44, these are the outside agency grants.
Hang on. This is $1,000. Right,
1,050.
I think it's, 1,050. 200, 200, 300. Outside agency grants, I would cut them both. I cut $1.8 million and
The CASA, and then what's the community act? Do we have the,
I didn't
Backup
get,
for that one?
no, I didn't get whatever, or that's Meals on Wheels.
we didn't get a request from one of them this year.
no, I know.
So community action did ask us. CASA asked for 500, is that right, Chuck?
Yes,
So I'll revise my request. I will recommend that we keep 500 for CASA and remove 29 out of community action. They didn't ask. All right. Please, do we want to keep going? Or do we wanna-
Nothing in library.
Yeah. I think we should go to the library and ask them to visit with the rest of them. We often have a meeting with them. We want to do police?
Go either way, I'm fine stopping
I
that,
can-
going into non-public.
I had a
On public, so.
I had a question on the library. Were they budgeting the same, the 5? Do you know? 5% COLA?
Looks like they're budgeting a 9% increase in staff salaries.
And that was, I believe he explained that. there was
Yeah.
Somebody up to speed.
No, that was last year.
No, he talked about it at the budget.
right, but I think most of that was.
I was just
In this
wondering on the
current year,
COLA.
in this current year, they adjusted salaries, but that would also be reflected in the fact that it wasn't in last year's budget, so. Know what I'm trying to say?
No, it wasn't last year's budget. Last year, he came to us and said, I need. a step
Okay.
increase because this person has been underpaid. And we didn't approve it. It was.
They didn't. He talked up this year. I thought it was somebody else actually. That was a high schooler that's been here for a number of years.
So you wanna stop there and give me a motion to go into non-public?
So I'll make a motion using the 91 RSA 3. Was it least this quarter, at first and a half?
I'll say.
Roll call vote, Chris.
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
We're gonna go in non-public, so those of you watching from home, we'll come back on streaming, so that let's meet tonight.